Dr. Hamid Reza Gholamzadeh is the Secretary General of the Asian Mayors Forum and also a political analyst. Gholamzadeh, thank you very much for your time and welcome to WION World is One. Let me begin by what is happening currently in your country, because there are reports that indicate that the Israeli Air Force has struck a building in the Iranian city of Qom, where senior clerics had gathered to elect Iran's new supreme leader. First of all, can you confirm to us that that has actually happened, and what could be the significance, if at all, any member has been killed in this strike?
Thank you very much for having me. I don't think that anyone would believe that in such a situation, 88 members of the Assembly of Experts will gather in person in a building to be an easy target for the Israelis or the Americans. So the claim is actually just a false news and fake news that is used against the Iranian public and just the propaganda in the Israeli machine. So no, there was no meeting in person meeting of the Assembly of Experts, and thus there has been not casualties. Yes, they have targeted the building, which belongs to the Assembly of Experts, but it doesn't mean that they were actually there. And their meeting is actually held in Tehran. That building is the official office building and for the workers. But the gatherings, the meetings are usually held in Tehran, in the building that was actually targeted last night, which is actually the former parliament building of Tehran. So the news is false. They did target the building, but there was no meeting actually going on to be targeted by the Israelis. We have had, as your news was saying, your headline mentioned, some part of the Hakimi industrial zone, for example, was targeted. I'm near that area now, and I witnessed actually, saw the plumes of smoke and the windows were shaking, and I am in a residential area.
Right.
So the claim that they are warning beforehand and that they are only targeting the military areas and such things are totally false. Many people are killed from among the civilians and in the city just because of the attacks. Today in downtown Tehran, near Enqilab Square, which is one of the most emblematic squares in Tehran, there was an attack just a few hours ago, and people, passerbys, were killed because of the attack.
Gholamzadeh, let me ask you this then. Do you think the United States and Israel have met their objective? Because their objective was to dismantle the nuclear capabilities of Iran, and then they moved to dismantle the military and the navy in order to dismantle the regime. And now there's talk about dismantling the regime by killing Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. Have they succeeded in that?
They have actually stepped back from the objective that they mentioned in the first day. About the nuclear program, program is a science, indigenous science, and you cannot kill science because you have the knowledge of know-how to create it, and whenever possible, Iran can get back to the program as before. About the objective that they mentioned, it was not just decapitating their establishment and killing the supreme leader. They clearly and overtly said that they want to make a regime change. And now, after a few days, we can see that it exists, and others or Trump are claiming that, no, we did not want to change regime, and there would be a change, and that would be upon the people. So they have failed in their objectives. And because of that, they are changing their rhetoric, and they're just changing the objective goal. And they are claiming that we made our goals. No, they wanted to make a regime change, and they cannot do that. First of all, they were expecting that Iran would not be ready to respond in this scale, and they're already surprised about that. And of course, they are now gradually running out of the ammunition in their defensive programs. And if the war extends for longer and longer, then they are going to face a challenge. So we are hearing President Trump saying that Iranians want to talk to me. I am not accepting. You should reverse that, actually. It means that I want to have negotiations with them, and they are not accepting that. So it shows that they are understanding that the war is difficult. Sorry. And they want to make it as short as possible. Why Iran does not want to do that? Because Iran knows that it needs to make some achievements. And that achievement is to send enemy back and to force enemy to recognize Iranian rights to its sovereignty, its nuclear rights, and its defensive rights as it is. None of the objectives have been achieved by the Americans or Israelis, and they would fail. They would try to have terrorist groups in the country or rioters to turn the country into unrest, but they would fail because majority of people are supportive of the Islamic Republic. And it's very interesting that people are on the streets every night. People go to the streets, walk around, go to the main squares, and chant against enemies and chant in support of the country. And then they go to the neighborhoods chanting and doing controls and discouraging any possible opposition that want to go out and to make some riots or unrest. Okay. So everything is under control, and they cannot make a regime change.
All right, everything is under control, according to Dr. Hamid Reza Gholamzadeh. He's the Secretary General of the Asian Mayors Forum and also a political analyst. Dr. Gholamzadeh, thank you very much for your time and for talking to WION World is One today.
It was a pleasure for me. Thank you.